Well, good morning here, 6 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. Thanks for waking up with us here on 13 Sunrise. Glad you could be with us this morning. I'm Julia Moffitt along with Julia Brooks and Lindsay Monroe here this morning. We are getting a slight return of some Arctic air.
We're getting it ready for Santa right now. The weather impact day, though. Santa will probably love the flurries that are coming in a little bit later today, Lindsay. But your morning commute should be fine. That weather impact is going to be later today, right?
That's right. Yeah, mainly after about 2 p.m. That's when we'll start to see some of these snowbursts moving in from west to east. That will be widespread, though, during the evening commute. So that's why we want you to be aware of the potential impacts. Not that this is going to be a major snow event by any means, but hey, just a couple weeks ago we saw what just a little bit of snow can do to the roads, and while we know that crews are preparing for this, it could be some slow travel later today. Looks good though in the meantime as you look live over downtown Indy. Our sky mostly clear, and our temperature that has really dropped off with a change of wind direction during the overnight. We are now down to 28 here in the city, 30 degrees currently in Muncie, 26 up in Kokomo. So across the board, we are seeing these numbers dropping back below the freezing mark. And that is a pretty big change from earlier this week. In fact, over the past 24 hours, we have fallen off 14 degrees here in the city. Same deal down in Shelbyville. Been monitoring a little bit of light snow across southeastern Indiana overnight. That has since moved out. We will see a break in the cloud cover, even a little sunshine to get the day started. And then we've got another round of some snow that will set up and move in for us later today. Temperatures will hold steady, low to mid 30s. That will be our high during the early afternoon. And again, after about 2 o'clock, that's when scattered snow will be most likely. So here's that latest timeline. Taking you between now and about noon, everything looks pretty good. Light snow starts to set up here. That will continue, in fact, becoming more widespread. Those snowbursts will bring brief whiteout conditions and slick driving through the evening, exiting after 9 p.m. We'll talk more about that. Bitter cold headed our way overnight tonight in your full forecast. We want to take you out to the roadways this morning and keep you posted with what's going on. We've been talking about some new construction zones. This one on the south side. Been monitoring these new I-69 ramps. This is at I-465 on the south side of town. They're going to be doing some lane restrictions in between Man Road throughout the new 69 junction over to US 31, which is that Meridian Street on and off ramp system on the south side of town. So that's 465 in both directions. Could potentially start to cause some issues. Looks pretty good here on these new I-69 ramps. And as far as our delayed tracker goes, even with that construction planned, everything moving along without delay. We'll keep you posted with any new incidents or backups around the metro.
Hey, Lindsay, 6:03. Let's get you caught up on some breaking news that we've been following for the last couple hours on the city's east side. A heavy police presence near a possible crash there.
Now, this is near East 16th Street and North Franklin Road. Our CNN New Yorker has been on the scene, and I know you've been there for several hours, and it looks like police still there as well.
Yes, good morning, ladies. Police are still here. In fact, you can see right behind me, the tow trucks have arrived, actually, and you can see on this tow truck, there is a car that is heavily damaged. You can see airbags deployed, and there's car parts all over. The other car is on that trailer right there. That was the car that was flipped. So there was some kind of crash, some kind of accident. When we pulled up here a few hours ago, there were firefighters here as well as 2 ambulances. We saw the ambulances take several people away from this scene. We are working with police to try to find out exactly what happened to cause this crash. Now, again, police for several hours had this road blocked, but now it is back open as they begin the rush hour, and they are working to clear this area out. And we are working to get you more info on exactly why and how this crash started. Ladies?
Yeah, very serious crash there, Sia. We'll check back in with you when you're able to learn some more info.
Well, new this morning, we're trying to learn about a car crash that crashed into a nursing home overnight on the west side.
So we sent crews over to Northwest Healthcare Center off of West 34th near 465. They're able to tell us that IFD says the building is okay. They're actually already starting repairs this morning. We're still working to figure out how that car crashed into this building or how that driver is doing. We have reached out to police for an update. We have not heard any reports of anyone hurt at this hour, but as we get more information from police, we'll be able to pass that along here on air and online. Well, right now, police are searching for a gunman involved in a shooting not too far from downtown Indianapolis.
Yeah, this happened late last night near Indiana Avenue and St. Clair Street inside an apartment building. Police tell 13 News they believe two men got into a fight that then escalated to gunfire. At last check, the victim is expected to be okay. Police are hoping witnesses might help their investigation.
We do always need the public's help. Solve these cases many times. They are solved by the public's help. So we appreciate any help that you could give us if you know anything.
So right now, police believe this was an isolated incident, and they're saying there's no known threat to the public.
Well, this morning we are looking to see if charges have been filed yet against several suspects involved in a police chase that ended in a crash. You can see the video here. It started yesterday afternoon after police responded to a report of gunfire on East Riverside Drive near West 29th Street. When police spotted that car they thought was involved, there was a brief chase. Police say they discovered the car had been stolen earlier during an armed carjacking. According to IMPD, the driver crashed that stolen car into SWAT officers' SUV near 30th and Fall Creek. Police say they found a gun as well at the scene. Investigators say 4 suspects in that car were also taken to the hospital to be checked out. An IMPD officer is also recovering from his injuries.
Well, the Indiana Supreme Court is ruling a religious-based challenge to our state abortion law can go forward. This lawsuit that was filed by the ACLU on behalf of Hoosier Jews for Choice challenges the state's near-total abortion ban. It says the law prohibits women from getting an abortion despite holding religious beliefs that would require them to terminate a pregnancy under circumstances that are currently banned. The case now heads back to a lower court.
And this morning, the state's largest teachers union is calling on lawmakers to provide more money for the state's pre-K program. ISTA says if lawmakers want to raise students' reading and math scores, then they have to start with early development, childhood development. And that's why they're asking lawmakers to lower the age to 6 for children to go to kindergarten and provide that money for pre-K. The state's On My Way Pre-K is a grant-based program that provides access to free pre-kindergarten education for Indiana children from low-income families. In just under a decade, thousands of children have been through this program. Indiana's Family and Social Services Administration says studies show children in pre-K programs are better prepared.
And we're measuring them at 3rd grade and saying that you're not making the bar, but we're not necessarily putting the investments in on the front end to make sure that they're getting to that bar.
ISTA also addressed the issue of cell phones in the classroom, which is banned across the state. Governor-elect Braun says he'd like to expand on that ban in schools. ISTA says it's an issue that merits a lot more discussion.
Hey, right now, hundreds of thousands of Hoosiers could be at risk when it comes to their health coverage next month.
That is if the federal government cuts its share of Medicaid costs when the Trump administration takes over. Matthew Foltz in studio this morning what this could mean for families here in Indiana right before the holidays. Matthew.
Yeah, Julia and Julia, if this does happen, it's going to put hundreds of thousands of families here at risk of losing some of their health care coverage, especially low-income families. Right now, more than 2 million Hoosiers are covered by Medicaid, which is a federal and state program giving health insurance to low-income families. Here in Indiana, they offer the Healthy Indiana Plan, which is a Medicaid program covering more than 754,000 Hoosiers. The federal government is responsible for paying 90% of its cost. Meanwhile, President-elect Trump says that he would cut some of that funding when he takes office next month. So 13 News spoke with experts with Hoosier Action who say if that does happen, it will leave a deep impact on thousands of families.
There's a lot of narrative about people burdening safety nets that is just untrue. People, again, the destructive narrative of people are taking advantage of a safety net, but that's why it's called a safety net, is to catch you so you don't fall through the cracks.
And the reason Indiana is such at risk is that we are one of just 9 states with a trigger law that says if federal help gets below that 90% level, the state must go back to a lesser version of the healthy insurance plan. And experts really aren't sure what that would exactly look like right now. However, the good news this morning is that this is not a done deal. So Hoosiers who are on Medicaid should be checking their mail often. That's according to experts. Meanwhile, coming up at 6:30, you'll hear more from Mike Braun on his take.
So it sounds like a wait and see situation right now, which it doesn't sound too promising, but we'll see. Thank you, Matthew.
Well, this morning we're seeing how the neighborhood infrastructure program is making a difference in Indy as more money is announced for that program. So here's how it works. The city essentially agrees to split the bill for community projects. Just identify the problem, start raising money to fix it, and then submit an application to the city explaining the need. Take Oaks Academy Middle School as an example. The CEO tells us they have new sidewalks and curbs. He says it would have cost them more than $60,000, but it ended up only being $28,000.
For organizations like the Oaks and other nonprofits and other neighborhood associations, this is a great opportunity to partner with the city to improve our infrastructure.
So the new round of applications are opening up on Friday, but it does close in February. Lindsay?
All right, we've got some changes. That colder air has already arrived, so you'll notice that as you step out the door this morning. Light snow possible. Most of us see it coating. Locally up to 1 inch possible, but it's the timing of this that's going to make an impact during the evening rush. We'll talk about when you can expect snowburst if you have to get out and about today.
Thank you, Lindsay. New info this morning coming out of South Korea about a police raid at the president's office. The investigation that is underway will give you more details at 6:15.